Get out now before it's too late. Because the sooner that you get out is the only way that you can heal. The longer you let it linger, the longer you don't get out, it is going to accumulate. You know, it's a very, very intense period in the history of humanity. And this is actually one of the most powerful lessons I've ever done. And really catching up with people and hearing the stories of others, I can just push this forward to many people that they can get out now before it is too late. Don't bypass it. You know, there was a man, before I get into this lesson, and he was trapped on the roof of a house, and the flood waters were rising. And as he's standing on a roof of the house, the water has reached his ankles, and a person comes by in a boat, says, "Get in, get in." And he said, "Nah, don't worry about me. God's going to save me." The person pulls away. And now the water is up to his waist, and another boat shows up, and then the guy says, get in the boat." He goes, "Nah, don't worry about me. God is going to save me." He pulls away. Now the water is up to his neck, and a helicopter comes flying overhead, drops the ladder, says, "Climb up the ladder, climb up the ladder." He goes, "Don't worry about me. God's going to save me." And then he drowns. Man goes to heaven, sees God. He goes, "I don't understand. You were supposed to help me." And God looks at the man and says, "I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter. What more do you want?" Today, if I'm popping up on your stream, this is a lifeline to let you know it's time to get out before it's too late. Well, where do we have to get? Do we have to get out of the city? Do we have to get out of a country? We have to get out of the matrix. You have to get out of your brain. And if you don't, what has been happening in a post-2020 world is absolutely destroying people. And the traumas that so many people have accumulated because of obligation to live a matrix life, live the matrix way. This world has changed. Years ago, maybe your social group was, maybe 30 people or so. And now because of social media and people that think in the hive mind, there are people judging you, and you now have the weight of millions of people judging you. Many people have opted out of the modern life. Have you opted out of the modern life already? Appreciate everyone getting on. We're alive. Grateful if you hit the like button to push it forward. In today's lesson, Mr. D is going to teach you a lot of things that are affecting your body. And, in recent times, catching up with, friends I haven't seen in a while. And say, where's so-and-so? Haven't seen him. Where's this guy? Hear the story. Didn't make it. Many things are affecting the quality of our everyday life. And today, I want to share this with the world Because if you do not get out, and you could disregard, you scroll past the video, oh, it's never too late. Okay, you could do that. You can ignore the 2 boats and a helicopter. But on my journey, in the most pivotal time period in the history of humanity, as I don't see, I kind of dissipate, and I catch up with old friends. I say, what's actually happening on the ground? When I say your high commander's on the ground, there's a reason for what's actually happening. These people ain't around no more. And they could, just be a shell of themselves. So we have been through a lot. And today we have to understand, if you do not get out of the trauma-based, the fear-based matrix society, if you did not opt out of the modern life, going through a lot. Emotions just never work themselves out. We have all dealt with traumas. We've all dealt with a lot of pain in a post-2020 world. So a lot of the things that are affecting your everyday life, it could come from childhood. It could come from the post-2020 situation in the world. What happened in those 2 years? And the narcissistic people that you came across. So all of these things in your everyday life, they build up traumas. Traumas never work themselves out. Emotions, right? What is emotion? It's energy in motion. Emotions just never work themselves out. If you do not process these emotions, you are still paying for it. The energy of your body, right? Your nervous system, every emotion that you have in your body, it's stored in your body, is draining you. And so that's why you must get out now, because it is an accumulation. And I've come across people, they're getting lower and lower, sicker and sicker. And to I'll share a little bit more later, to hear the crazy stories, catching up, and the people that for years in your life, and you say, I can't believe this. This is an important message today. I hope the world hears this message today. Okay? So all the grief that you've had in a post-2020 world, all of the anger drains the body. Your nervous system is drained by every negative emotion that you have had. So it's compiling right now. Do you understand the urgency of getting out now? This is not some, it's clickbait, it's this and that, and people, these are the people that want to shove it under the rug. If you do not deal with this, if you do not opt out of the modern life, if you do not get out of the narcissistic relationships, if you do not get out now, the whole life, the way of life of the modern society, eventually it becomes too late, because your nervous system, this is the answer, your nervous system cannot constantly, as it's accumulating. There are people that haven't dealt with anything post-2020, right? All these years have passed by, right? I got to get this through to people's brains, right? So all these years have passed by, and there's a accumulation, and there's an energetic debt, and it's driving people to their demise, So everyone's journey is different. You might have already had stuff from childhood. You might have had to deal with a lot of crazy stuff in a post-2020 world, 2021, the trauma, the weighing out, things, you went into the unknown, you want to keep your job, right? You're trying to support a family. And then people made decisions to support their family. They did stuff to themselves, and then they got spit in the face, and now they're in an apartment. Their home was taken, and they did everything for their family. So there's people in this world that have been through a lot. And I'm here today, as I'm on the ground, understanding and sharing. There are people across the world that are dealing with emotional debt that their bodies, if you cannot stop, you got to get the message through today. Everyone's got to get this message through today. It's amazing the stories that I've been hearing. It's amazing. And that's why I walk with gratitude. You know, if you are a person that's alone, you might have a small friend circle. You know, you maybe even have to stay single. That's a good thing in this world. I cannot stress to you the amount of both men and women, lives have been absolutely destroyed. Get out now before it's too late. So the nervous system is drained by every single negative emotion. Childhood, post-2020 stuff, narcissists in your life, in the relationships, and you might have felt trapped by these things. And when it comes to which seems to be a big thing in the world, from your parents, there's everything. Like, there are people that have they've had terrible parenting. Narcissistic mothers, right? That put a lot of stuff on their daughters. You might be the daughter and you're tuned into this podcast today, right? And this is the modern life, right? So that's passed down. So you have that, but along with that, you could have had good parenting. You've had good parenting, but the parents are trying to protect you. So one of the things that is very common across, like, pretty much everyone could kind of, not everyone, but middle class people understand is money is hard to come by, and trying, like, getting into survival mode, and this might be passed down. If that resonates with you, you could leave a comment. So even though, our parents, that's a good example. Our parents are trying to protect us, but then there's trauma that's passed down. It's passed down through the DNA as well. So whether it's good or it's, some people have been through very traumatic experiences as a child, and they had very negative experiences with their parents. You might have had negative experiences, or you might have had a teacher that was a broken teacher, and they put their traumas and what they were telling you and stuff, and you're absorbing it as a sponge. You might be 9 years old, right? You're a kid. You're absorbing all these things. So regardless, all of these things, or maybe you were bullied in school. So now you had that. Ladies and gentlemen. Then you had 2020. Then you had the uncertainty. Now, right, you might be a young adult, right, your whole life. Now you have more. And this happened in 2020. This ain't my first rodeo. If you're new, you could click subscribe, take the journey here. 2020 was a rude awakening to people. People were stuck in the home, and they said, I don't even like this person that I'm married to. I don't even, people did it out of comfort. People did it for the money. And they're sitting in their home, and they realized, and you could, again, leave comments if you went through this, and people realize, I don't even really like this person, because you were living a life of obligation. You didn't do it from the heart space. You didn't do it from love. You got to opt out of the modern life, because then you're going to sit there. And as life continues to pass by, you're going to sit there with the emotional debt. The emotional debt is taxing your nervous system. And every single one of these emotions must go somewhere. So the emotions will get locked into the body. In recent times, there's been a lot of clearing energies. We've been talking about the stomach. The emotions that you're storing, it stores in the stomach. Okay? All of the problems that you had. A lot of people also, the throat. Right? You could have a lot of throat problems because you weren't able to speak up. You felt you couldn't speak in your own home. You were censored out there. And then in the liver stores a lot of anger. A lot of people had anger, resentment. Oh, I have to take this thing to keep my job. Oh, I did all these things. I was trying to be a good husband. And then And then after I did all this stuff to provide for my family, spit in the face, left you, and now you got nothing, bro. I understand. I hear the stories of men, or you're the divine feminine, right? And you said, oh, I made a mistake, right? This person was not who he said he was, right? And now you're 50 years old. Now you're 60 years old, and you can't stop working, woman. A woman should not have to live through that. So anyone that's hearing me right now, you better get in. The importance of this message, I have seen people I know, both men and women, absolutely get eviscerated. When I sit here today, I'm grateful to God that God protected me from all of this. And now, as the mouthpiece for God, I'm here to share this information to other people. Opt out of the modern life. Get back into the heart space. Get out now before it's too late. And there's going to be people that say, well, you're saying this and it's too late. It will be too late. I'm sorry, kid. This is the answer. And when you start to actually see what's really good and you don't bypass these things and you see your brothers and sisters are absolutely destroyed, that's why God has put me on this journey. And because as a leader, I have to see these things. I have to meet and greet the people. I have to hear their stories. And I could say, and then we talk as men, say, wow, can you imagine what happened to him? And we might be alone, but we're clean, right? We were protected during this phase, right? You might be the divine feminine. Maybe like guys think you're weird, right? But you were protected, woman. You were protected, right? So we have to start thinking differently about this, because you were not supposed to fit into this modern society. And if you don't fit into the modern society, you're gaslit, so on and so forth. That's actually a good thing. It's a paradoxical world. I teach about quantum shifting on this channel. This world is full of paradox, okay? So what happens? If you can't fight, so our nervous system, if you're able to fight something, you're not storing the emotion. If you could run away from something, like back in the day, the threat was usually like an animal trying to eat you, right? My friend calls them man eaters, but maybe you have trauma in your own home, and you're locked in there, and you can't run. Right? So you could be a man or a woman, and now you're locked into that marriage, and you can't run away from it, right? If you can't speak. So in our lives, we have the nervous system, and we store these energies. If you're able to fight and you win, if you're able to run and escape, and if you're able to speak without being censored, every single one of these things in the past few years, maybe you weren't able to fight and you had to store it. You had to swallow it down. Maybe you're not able to run. Maybe you feel like you're trapped. You feel like a prisoner in your own home. You can't run, right? Because the threat is the actual person in your own home. Or maybe you can't speak. Maybe you're censored. Maybe if you speak up in your own home, right? I have some buddies that complain, I can't speak, I get yelled at, right? But again, if you can't speak, right? If you're a woman and you can't speak, and you get, if you can't speak, you're gonna store it. That's why a lot of people also going through the throat. Maybe you weren't able to speak, right? And I learned this on my journey. A lot of people that you're watching me every single day, I gotta speak. I gotta make sure I'm always speaking it out. We gotta make sure, because if you don't, if you shove it down, if you're a man and the hyenas out there, they try to emasculate you, right? If you're trying to be a mass, you're gonna shove it down into your gut. And I've been sharing about health and wellness, and we have to understand the emotional codes and what we're holding in our body, and it is going to tax the nervous system, and it's going to bring us to an early demise if you don't get out now. Get out of these things now. As Apollo Creed said, there is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. It's got to be now. And again, this is not like a sense. This is an empowerment channel. So, and I get comments from this. I motivate someone to finally do it. That's the point of this. You know, maybe it's tomorrow, the next day, but you have to come to terms. So one of the things that, you know, I wrote down here in the lesson plan is how are we going to fix this? Because we need real life solutions. And the actual thing, for those that are listening to this podcast, is actually noticing the loop and becoming aware. And then you actually start to say, if I do this, oh yeah, I do feel this in my stomach. Oh yeah, I do feel this in my lower back. Your lower back represents support. A lot of men have been fighting on the front line for all these past years. You got no support. You either have to do it alone, or maybe you sabotage in your own home, right? You're a woman. You're supposed to feel safe and protected, right? But you chose the wrong thing over there, right? There is no, you never feel safe, right? And as I was sharing earlier, and these are people I know, you can't hang out, you can't do anything, right? And you could be, you know, good and everything. 50 years old, 60 years old, you can't stop working. So I hope that especially the younger woman in this world, if you don't get this right, they're going to post all these things on social media, mainstream media, but your nervous system will never be calm. And if you're a divine feminine that resonates, leave it in the comments. You know, a lot of women in this world, they think that, oh, you know, because they get attention because of their body on Instagram, that they know things, but all these things fade away. So, and that's why we appreciate our divine feminine here, because it's just the way of the world. A lot of, they don't want to hear it. Okay. We talked about this the other day, you're the divine masculine, let them go wreck their life, bro. Don't have it in your home. Let them go. Let them see how it is. Life is a series of choices that we make that reveal our content of character. And what we're seeing now, right? We're seeing a big pile of dysfunction. I broke this down. I'll give you the energies of the universe. It's dysfunction or peace. Pick a lane. Just don't worry about the labels. Don't worry about this and that and the other. I'm giving you the energies here. This is what we have to focus here in this community, in this channel. Is it dysfunction or is it peace? And through my observations of watching couples implode, right? People that tell me their stories, they're broken after the relationship, the marriage, right? Or the job that went away, and they even made you take stuff, brother, and the job's not even there anymore. It's amazing, all of the stories that I've heard over the past few years. And if you are getting this message and you were gaslit a couple of years back, that's trauma in your body. That's trauma in your body. So, and we weren't able, think about these terms. If you can't fight, maybe you couldn't fight, maybe you couldn't run, maybe you couldn't speak. And any one of those things that I just mentioned can cause emotions to be stored in the body, which taxes the nervous system. And this is an accumulation. So, none of the emotions just work themselves out. You have to understand the emotional codes of the body. So we actually have to process the emotion, think about it, actually become aware of the stuff. Like once I become aware of these things, I know it's not worth my health and wellness to not speak up, for example. It's not worth it. This is the way of narcissism in social media. Years ago, you know, even within social groups, if you are a person that is into truthfully changing your reality, do you want to be on a brand new timeline? Well, when we reality transurf, we have to make sure that we understand that there are big group things called pendulums in society, and people worship the pendulum, but they don't worship their own family. They're more concerned with they're more concerned. See, like in life, like it's not going to get to the truth. Or the truth is the heart, the soul. That's the heart and the soul. And all these traumas in our life, they built up. Another sword put in you, another dagger in you. How many people have been through this over the past few years? Here's another sword. Here's another knife in the back. So what you experience. Another sabotage. You gave your all, right? We've all had to have a taste of that. It's not a nice feeling to you gave your all to a person or people that didn't even care about you. And this is all trauma, the simple things. I feel these stresses as well. I'm talking to some of my buddies. Every bill is up and the pay is down. So you're feeling the squeeze. Right, brothers, right? We talk, right? You feel the squeeze. Every bill is going up. And then you start critiquing your life. You say, well, all of this is not even going to anything of greed or luxury. This is just trying to pay bills. Does anyone resonate? You could click the like button so other people hear that. All of a sudden, the water bill goes up. All of a sudden, the electric bill goes up. All of a sudden, the money's going out faster. What's happening in the world? Does anyone know what's going on? Where's the money going? So when people in the nervous system, go back to what I said earlier, you feel the squeeze. Our parents try to protect us, but like that programming, and now it's amplifying. Now you feel like, I'm not going to have enough. Our nervous system wants to feel safe. If you're locked into the modern life, like if you have to have this big fancy car payment to impress an irrelevant modern woman, do you understand, bro? With women spend $100 on nails. Men don't even care about them. You're just trying to impress other women. Do you understand what I'm putting out there? I'm trying to guide you on your evolutionary journey to get out of the matrix, to get out of the modern life. You could write in the comments today, I opt out of the modern life. Because every single one of these things, traumas, these dense emotions, they will all accumulate. They do not work themselves out by themselves. If you don't stop the hamster wheel, if you don't stop the loop, you can't get better. And, to see everything has, our bodies are magnificent things. And I went through this. I went through, but it was part of my journey, which was the storm that I was on to be dislodged, and I had to go through it. But I went through a time period. I didn't have a second to process anything. So my body, for the first time in my life, really took a hit. And that hit that I took, that was all of the traumas, all of the narcissism of the world. When you, and this is part of society going back to tribes and stuff like that. The whole tribe will turn on you if you have an original, we don't live that way no more. And there are many people that stay alone because of this. And when it even comes to social media, I feel that it actually, because I'm doing this for a while, it's really not a nefarious thing, and it's just the truth. It's you. Because the algorithms, I've seen this. If it's drama, if it's this, the people, oh my God, you're drawn to it. So what you need to do, if you're tuned into this podcast, you're going to click subscribe. You're going to show up every day, and you have to fix it. You have to get focused. You have to get focused on yourself, positivity. It is just the way. People are addicted to drama. They love the drama. And this is in the subconscious programs. Might not even be your fault, but because of mainstream media, because of other people in your life, you have worked out and then you had these these traumas and emotions, and people call it your personality, but it's actually you just trying to and you're just sitting there. And all the narcissists that gave you negativity, right? All of the post 2020 stuff, and then the stuff from your childhood that you weren't even, like, it was just dumped on you. And it could be good, or it could just be passed down. So a lot of people know stuff is passed down the family lineage. And a lot of it's just our grandparents lived through a time. They lived through, everything was a struggle. So then you're told everything's a struggle. Save every penny. Money is hard to come by. It's not a nefarious thing, but sometimes we were just protected because this world has been crazy. Right? Maybe you're a fine woman. Maybe you're a fine woman. And so you become the avoidant because of this, right? Oh, don't get too close. Don't get too close. So then you run away. But what happens, and this happens more for women than men, then what happens is you actually run away from the man that you actually love, because if he were to leave you, it would devastate you. Don't get too close. So then you settle for the weakness, right? Because you could actually control that person. So you feel safe. So this is actually a way our nervous system is working against us, right? And again, these are just archetypes. Remember the law of 80-20, and I could see this through my experience, the things I've seen in my life, my friends are sharing with me, and we see this over time. Okay, so understand this. All of these traumas and stress, cortisol is building 24/7 in the background. One of the things that I've shared with the community is, where do you dwell? Where is your nervous system baseline? And to see, I've been through things, and I'm hearing stories of people that have been through some even worse things. And you say to yourself, wow, where do you dwell? So there's people that can never, listen carefully, they will, or it would be almost impossible, they can never regulate their nervous system in the situation that they are in. Wow. Get out now before it's too late. And that has to happen on the inside. I have seen people, it's always in paradise, and they're miserable. They'll be miserable in the gym. You'll see that miserable face. They don't go out, because it's all in the brain. So your location doesn't matter. There's people in the inner city, and they're full of life. None of these things, I'm here to set the record straight. How you doing? I'm here to set the record straight, because I actually do, because I actually experience it. And then there's going to be people, and they're going to say the sky is falling, and you have to avoid this and avoid that, and eat this type of diet and do all these things to be all ultra spiritual. And then you go into a secondary, and all the stuff is out there, and all the traumas are out there, and you're trying to piece your life together. You don't know what to do. Go inside. Go inside. Go inside. There are people that I have come across, because I see this too, and you think like, oh, you want a person to be spiritual, or you want a person to, be conscious, know the things. I've met people that know the things, and their content of character is real low. They'll claim to be spiritual and all this other low character. And then there's people that know nothing, and it's a beautiful thing. And that lesson that I've taught over the past few years, I got to pull you up because we just glitched the live stream. It really lasts. So at the end of the day, it's always going to be you. It's always going to be you. And how you decide to apply these things. And again, I get it. I get the whole, but again, these are group thinks in the thought. Doesn't mean that technology is all bad. There's a lot of things that aren't great about technology, but there's wonderful things about technology. It's you. It's you. It's what you choose. Do you choose to use it for drama, or do you choose it to educate? Do you choose it to empower? We're going to empower the people of our everyday lives here. Golden Lioness, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so grateful. Hi, Commander, dropping the truth. Here for the realness. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's my number one comment when people say, I'm just here for the realness. Yeah, I'm just here. And again, a lot of things in life, I'm focused on the people I know, my real actual friends, and not people on the internet. And that's how I'm able to come here every single day and just be truthful. And there is emotional debt if you can't be yourself. There is a loneliness epidemic. You could be surrounded by people, but people don't see you for who you truthfully are. And that's why the loneliness that doesn't come from a lack of people trying to talk to you, or for a lack of people that want to get with you, right? No, it's about true connection. The people that are still tuned into this, you understand what I'm talking about. It's about true connection. To finally have that true connection. And I know people are tuned in. I hear from the community here. Doesn't matter where I am. I have different groups of friends in different area codes. And everyone shares the same thing that's on the resonance, right? So, this was a time period that was prophesized, and you might be there's only a few people in one area, and you're actually there to anchor down that area in the world. And now we see, now it makes sense, because over time, over the past few years, none of the labels, none of the external mattered. It was always inside, ladies and gentlemen. It was always inside. I'm still here today, and, in our lives, we have to be physically strong and we have to be spiritually strong. Get it? And in our body, we are going to accumulate all of the spiritual, crazy stuff that's going on in the world. You're absorbing it. And things that you actually had to live through, we all had to live through it. But we have to process it. We have to let it go. And if we don't, our life, that's why you must get out now. Okay, so one of the world famous videos I did, people having this strange experience, is time speeding up. So I want you to critique your life right now. Just stop. Can you continue this? So I'm gonna just go in your head, and this is what you have to do. Can I do this for another year? Can I do this for 3 more years? Oh wait, no, I can't even do this for a couple of months. Then you say, so that's where the alarm goes off, and you say, you got to get out. You got to get out. Is time speeding up? You can't keep up with the day. Can you keep doing that? Can you stay in that type of lifestyle? Can you keep attracting those same type of beta boys, right? That's one of my number one things. Why do I still attract the same guy? It's you, sweetheart. It's you. Cat Snipes, thank you so much for the super chat. Cat, I'm so grateful for that. Thank you so much. It's beautiful. Thank you for being straightforward and your dopeness style of delivery. I am so grateful for that word. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the kind super chat. It's dope, right? If you see me for the first time, you're probably not going to find a real channel like this anywhere else. We are one of one, but this is how you have to be. I'm really grateful for that. It means a lot. I hope I can inspire other people to just be themselves. I don't have to be like everyone else. I just needed to be myself. And I have a unique journey. I have a unique style. And be you, because there's no one else that is like you in this world. There's nobody else like you. And understand the importance of getting out now. It's not some overly hyped thing. Oh my God, if you don't, it accumulates. The density in your body, it just keeps getting you. So that's why I've shared this, right? So some people talk about the timelines. People are splitting. The gap is widening, because once you get out of the matrix, now you're healing the body. Now your vibrational frequency is rising. And if people still didn't, then you're still in the relate. We have a buddy, it's 6 years going on in his crazy relationship, and he keeps going in more and more. So it goes like this, right? It goes like this. There are people in the past few years, right? And 2020 was a big quantum event for all of humanity. And the people that said, oh, wow, this is all fake. I don't want this. I'm going to go with my soul, my spirit. And people dug in more. So any person that's getting this message, you have to make the decision to get out of the modern life, get out of the matrix. And it's what resonates with you. There's no, and what I take from all of this, what I've seen, because this is a quantum reality, people themselves are manifesting the negativity. It is just an illusion. And people themselves ruin their own life because you're tricked though. At the end of the day, the laws of the universe are free will. It was very, very pushed to the limit, say, in a post-2020 world. A lot of people's free will, and that's why, God ain't so happy, and that's why God sends in the archangels. It's just the truth. But at the end of the day, we all have the ability to make free will decisions. It is a biblical time period. It is a highly energetic time period. And the world will never be the same. Once the Hermetic principle of rhythm, once the rhythm is going this way, it's not going to go back, but there are people that will try to hold on more to it. And in their mind, in their reticular activating system in the brain, they can only identify negativity. I'm just here to guide people. Each person must go through the process themselves. If it was meant to be, brothers, she would have got it in order. So let her figure it out. Because if not, you're going to be left there. Okay? Ladies, if he can't grow up, if he can't get off, oh, well, he's this and that, and got to get off the mother's couch, and all, he's eating the nacho. Let it, if he can't figure it out, if she can't figure it out, and if your whatever system you're working or company can't figure, then you have to figure it out. Because I've seen and appreciate all my brothers and sisters that I know on the ground and hearing stories. But the bottom line is, we all had to go through something. We must process the emotions, and these emotions will constantly accumulate, and they will never just go away on their own. So there are catalysts, like there can be someone that comes into your life, and through the interactions with that person, you're actually working stuff out. So, and that's the type of friendships and relationships and business connections, all of the things, right? We want to have all, we're not saying all this, like some people go too far off. We have to live our life with balance right now because this world is changing. Opt out of the modern life today and critique your own life. Can you keep doing that job? Can you still put up with her or him or whatever your relationship is? Just think about these things. And people will be called to maybe change their diet according to what you feel, not because some person on the internet tells you, well, this is what you have to do it. You have to figure it out. Because any one of these expectations or what there's all these different groups on the internet. Do you know about the internet? Yeah. And a lot of people that resonate with this channel, they know about these fake spiritual cliques and all this other crap that's out there. Click the subscribe and get them the heck out of there. And the thing of it is called pendulums. It's an identity. I have an identity, a label, and if you don't fit into my label, I will judge you. I will get out of the way. This is how you have to be. You have to be the light warrior today. You have to be the light warrior today. You have to be the divine feminine today. You have to be the divine masculine today. This is empowerment. Spiritual empowerment. Not bypassing. Because if you bypass, and you do whatever you want. The most important thing is we have to live our life freely. You do what you got to do. You could ignore this message. But if in this world I motivate one person to get out now, I did my job. That at the end of the day, that's all I could do. I can't save anyone. We don't have time to do it anymore. I recently did these. The energy is exploding right now. We have very powerful lessons. If you missed any of them recently, at the end of this podcast, if you're watching the replay, check out those videos. How can you continue living? Did you opt out of the modern life? Check them out. It's going to help you on your journey. It's your life. Take it back. We have Facebook, TikTok, Patreon, Instagram. Utilize the hashtag OurEverydayLives. And I'm so grateful if this message really sparks something in your soul. If you click the like button and click subscribe, those that are clicking subscribe, it really helps push this channel forward and get the message out there to other people because, people are craving answers, craving authenticity, and let's be the lighthouse for others. Give people, like it's almost like you're giving them permission. Oh, finally, I could just be myself, and don't worry about what other people think about you. I love you all, and check out the videos. They're gonna help you on your journey. Stay focused. Get out now before it's too late. 2 boats and a helicopter. Figure it out, kid. I am the defender of our everyday lives. No matter what comes your way, light warriors, just keep going. I love you guys. Bye for now.